Okay, I almost turned this one off after 15 minutes because I wasn't liking it, but I'm so glad I didn't because the last 30 minutes were insane. You probably scrolled through Netflix 100 times wondering which title is worth your time, so I cut through all of that.
Careful now.
No wasted time, just the coolest insights, what makes each one hit, and why they deserve your attention. Hey, my name's Johnny, and today I'll be taking a deep dive into 10 Netflix horror movies that are insanely good. And let's get into it.
Hay una forma de salir vivos de esto, juntos.
Valley of the Dead, 2020. Set during the Spanish Civil War, a group of enemy soldiers from opposite sides are forced to team up when a Nazi experiment unleashes a wave of flesh-eating zombies craving brains. I don't know why that's so much fun to say.
Esto es la guerra y la voy a ganar como sea.
This one feels like someone took a war movie and just dropped zombies straight into it. And somehow it just works way better than it should. What makes it stand out is the tone. It's not just horror, it's not just action. It's got this kind of sarcastic edge to it, which I love. It's almost like the characters are not taking the movie and the location that seriously, and the characters are not heroic in the traditional sense. And that just makes everything more fun, more grounded, and just unpredictable.
¿Creéis en las monjas y las cosas? Yo no creo en las monjas existen.
I love the cast here, led by Miguel Esparb, with standout performances from Era Garrido and Luis Callejo. I'm sorry if I ruined those names. I tried my best, but they're a solid mix of humor and grit that keeps the group of dynamic entertaining. And also the setting for this one does a lot of the heavy lifting. Beautiful atmosphere, beautiful locations. You're not in a typical zombie apocalypse. You're in a war zone where chaos already exists, and there happens to be zombies as well. So it's just stacking scenario over scenario, and it's awesome. So when the horror kicks in, it doesn't feel like the world ended. It feels like it just got worse. Ziam from 2025. Ziam is about a former Muay Thai fighter fighting through a zombie outbreak inside a hospital to save his girlfriend. What makes this stand out is how it flips the usual zombie formula. No guns, no military squads, just raw Muay Thai. The fights feel way more intense because every hit is up close. Elbows, knees, clinches. It's brutal and physical. It almost plays like The Raid, but with infected swarming tight hallways, especially inside the hospital setting. That mix of martial arts, precision, and zombie chaotic pressure gives it a fresh energy most zombie movies don't have. It doesn't hold your hand, and that's where the payoff comes from. It's the kind of movie you feel like you've been locked in through the whole time without even noticing.
They're saying it could be a category 5.
That's what they always say, and then everything turns out to be fine. Here they come! Bet you never saw this on Shark Week.
Thrash from 2026. Okay, I almost turned this one off after 15 minutes because I wasn't liking it, but I'm so glad I didn't because the last 30 minutes were insane.
No people, no car.
Just a little bit away.
Sharks on the loose. In the category 5 storm.
This one looks like they dumped a ton of money. There's a lot of CGI in there, and it's just, like I said, it's so bad it's good. This is the one movie that I wouldn't say is a good movie or is an awesome movie, but you need to watch it just for how insane it is. Let me give you one example, okay? Just one scene in the movie that'll tell you everything you need to know. So there's a woman who's pregnant, about to give birth in a house, and while she's giving birth, the house caves down on her, so she floods out to the water. Okay, and she gives birth. 15 or 20 seconds after giving birth, she puts her baby on a piece of plywood or something floating, and then grabs another sharp stake to use on a shark that's coming straight at her. Wait, it's not done yet.
This is where the story gets interesting.
She stops the shark in its tracks with that one piece of sharp wood, and it just stops completely. Mind you, a woman who just gave birth 30 seconds did this. If that one scene alone doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this movie, I don't know what else to do. I saw that and I said, you know what? This is terrible. It's a bad movie, but I need to watch this. I need to see where this movie goes. Well, I'm warning you, go watch it with friends, but be prepared. This is a terrible movie, but it's kind of fun because it's so over the top. It's almost like a comedy dressed up as a horror movie. Have a few beers with some friends and go watch it. You guys will laugh like crazy at a horror movie. So not only did they have to have a big storm in the movie, no, that's not enough. They need to wreck all the houses with a big storm. No, that's not enough. We need sharks running around trying to eat people. Yeah, that's good. Let's just, just one of the others not enough. We need all of that. Bring it all on there. It's almost like they picked a bunch of topics and said, yes, yeah, I want all those. No, I'm going to pick one. I want them all. Put them all in the movie. $300 million budget, whatever it is. Yeah, let's go.
My wife doesn't know what happened here. I think it would be better if we kept it that way.
Things heard and seen from 2021. A young couple moves to a quiet farmhouse in upstate New York, but the wife starts sensing something seriously off, both with the house and the husband.
I'm new in town and I would love to learn more about the older homes in the area.
This is one of those slower burns that sneaks up on you. At first, it just feels like a drama, but there's something off the entire time. And that's the strength of it, in my opinion. The horror isn't loud, it's creepy, it's in the background. And what makes it hit is that it just blends psychological tension with supernatural elements. And you're constantly questioning what's real and what isn't. This isn't your typical haunted house movie. And I love where the afterlife reflects your true inner self. So the ghosts aren't there just to scare. They're basically exposing people's souls. And I have to talk about Amanda Seyfried. She carries the entire movie. She's super grounded, emotional, and believable as everything unravels around her. It's a quieter performance than her bigger roles like The Housemaid, which she was great in as well, but that actually makes it hit harder. She feels real, not movie dramatic, which makes the horror land way more. And that final act, way more bleak than most Netflix horror. It's less about jump scares and more about that lingering unease that sticks with you way after the movie's over.
I will be spending one night alone in a haunted house.
Deadstream from 2022. Now, I love this synopsis for a movie. A disgraced live streamer tries to win back his audience by spending a night in a supposedly haunted house while streaming the whole thing. Of course, it's not fake and things spiral into pure chaos fast.
Oh, come on, that doesn't even look real. I'm not falling for this Photoshop hack job.
This one knows exactly what it is and just fully commits. And it's just chaotic, but in the best way. I love a good horror comedy, and this one mixes it really well. The main character is intentionally annoying, but that kind of becomes part of the experience, almost part of the charm.
I don't want to be remembered as a douchebag. Somebody help me!
This concept is pretty hilarious. It's like the Blair Witch Project meets a chaotic YouTube meltdown. The main actor, Joseph Winter, basically carries the entire movie solo. And he's nonstop energy the whole time. What makes it stand out is how it weaponizes internet culture. Jump scares mixed with cringe humor, chat interactions, and influencer desperation. It shouldn't work, but it does, because the comedy actually makes the horror hit harder when it flips. What really makes it work, though, is the pacing. Once it gets going, it does not slow down. It just keeps escalating in ways that feels creative and just unhinged. And I love that about it. It just feels like watching a live meltdown. Like we just live stream someone and things are just going terribly. But with something genuinely terrifying lurking underneath. The Conference from 2023. A group of employees go on a team building retreat to discuss a development project, only for tensions, secrets, and guilt to surface right as a mass killer starts picking them off one by one.
Green car.
This is proof that setting and character dynamics can carry a horror movie. You got a group of people stuck together, forced to interact, and the tension just builds before anything even happens.
Nej, det kommer. Nej, men det har vi inte. Utan vi har wifi. Det är bara det att vi kan svära lite grann. Men Ingela, vi löser det.
If you ever seen the movie The Belko Experiment, that kind of plays like this, mixed with classic slasher energy, but with a sharp corporate satire edge. The kills are brutal, but the real hook is how it ties the violence to workplace politics and corruption. These aren't random victims, they're all connected to something shady. It also leans into dark humor in a very dry way. Awkward, and then suddenly savage. Feels way smarter than your typical Netflix slasher. And when that horror kicks in, it feels earned because you already understand and know the personalities and the conflicts and the awkwardness between the people. It's not just about survival, it's about watching people unravel under pressure. And that's where it gets interesting.
Gerald!
5 hours you've wasted screaming for neighbors that are half a mile away.
Gerald's Game from 2017. A couple retreats to a secluded lake house to rekindle their marriage, but things spiral when the husband suddenly dies, leaving the wife handcuffed to the bed with no way out.
Wake up. Just wake up. It's time to wake up, honey.
This one is all about psychological pressure. The entire movie feels claustrophobic, even though it's not constantly moving or changing locations. It traps you in the same situation as the main character and just makes you sit in that discomfort. Carla Gugino is awesome here, and she carries almost the entire film on her own. Most of it is just her in that bedroom, reacting, breaking, and rebuilding in real time. What's impressive is she had no traditional co-star to play off of. So every emotion you see, fear, panic, resilience, is coming purely from her performance and internal monologue. It's basically a one-woman survival thriller, and she just makes it work. What makes it stand out is how it just explores fear internally. It's not about just what's happening physically, it's about what's happening in the mind. And the longer it goes, the more intense it gets without needing big set pieces and constant action.
We haven't done anything.
Doesn't matter.
We sit and we wait.
And we die.
This'll be over soon, gentlemen.
Green Room from 2015. A struggling punk band accidentally witnesses a murder at a remote neo-Nazi skinhead club after a gig gone wrong.
There's been a stabbing! Stop!
This is one of the most intense movies on this list, easily. It's not flashy, it's not over the top, it's just brutally realistic, and everything feels like it can actually happen. And that's just what makes it so uncomfortable.
Let him bleed.
You're coming.
Here we go.
This movie stands out because it's not about heroes, it's about regular people making desperate, messy survival decisions under pressure. Patrick Stewart plays the soft-spoken but terrifying antagonist, which makes the tension even worse because he never raises his voice. He just quietly controls everything. The violence feels sudden and realistic, which is why it hits harder than most horror thrillers. The tension comes from how grounded everything is. There's no exaggeration, no escape routes that feel convenient. It's just a bad situation getting worse and worse and worse. And once it starts, it does not let up.
What I want is for all of you to treat this camp as a kind of holiday. We will have fun.
Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight from 2020. A group of teenagers at a remote wilderness tech camp for screen addiction rehab, which I love the idea of that, suddenly find themselves being hunted by deformed, mutated killers lurking in the forest.
Nobody's home. I say we go back, okay?
This one feels like a throwback, but with modern energy. What I love about it is that it leans into classic horror tropes, but it's willing to push things farther than you expect. I really appreciate that this is one of those Netflix horror films that fully leans into practical gore and creature design, and not just CGI shortcuts. It's got that familiar setup, but the execution has way more bite. And there's also a level of just unpredictability to it. Just when you think it's going in one direction, it shifts. And the mutants are random. They're tied to a failed experiment subplot, which quietly shifts it from a slasher into sci-fi horror. I also love how the film deliberately plays with the idea of modern tech dependency versus primal survival instincts. It's fun, it's brutal at times, and it doesn't play it safe, which is something you want from a movie like this.
Father, we ask that you cleanse and sanctify us for this deliverance. Ebony, get back.
The Deliverance from 2024. A struggling single mother moves her family into a new home, hoping for a fresh start. But they quickly become trapped in a nightmare when disturbing supernatural forces begin targeting her children.
You shall be saved.
This one builds its horror differently. Instead of throwing everything at you right away, it slowly layers tension until it just becomes overwhelming. You can feel something building long before anything fully reveals itself. What stands out is the atmosphere. It's heavy and just almost suffocating at times. And when things finally escalate, it feels earned because of how much time it's built setting that tone. This film mixes possession horror with grounded family drama, which is what makes it stand out. It's loosely inspired by real-life accounts of alleged hauntings, but it plays more like psychological pressure cooker than a traditional exorcism movie. The film stars Andra Day as the mother, and she's easily the strongest part of the movie. She brings a raw, emotional intensity that keeps it grounded when things go fully supernatural. Glenn Close also stands out in a supporting role, adding serious weight and unpredictability to the story whenever she's on screen. It's the kind of movie that sticks with you more because of how it made you feel than what it actually showed you. So that's 10 Netflix horror movies that are actually worth your time. No fluff, no filler. If you're tired of wasting your time scrolling, start with any of these and you're in good hands. And let me know which one you're watching first. And if there's any hidden gems that I should check out next, let me know in the comments. My name's Johnny, and thanks for taking a deep dive into 10 Netflix horror movies that are insanely good. And I'll catch you on the next one.